All right, the 1984 NFL Draft. The number one player taken overall, first selected by the New England Patriots, was Irving Fryer, wide receiver. I believe, is he the only wide receiver ever taken number one overall? I know Keyshawn Johnson later was taken high in the draft, but I don't know if Keyshawn was a number one taken overall. We'll get to his draft later, about 10 years or so. But Irving Fryer, NFL Hall of Famer. So drafted wide receiver. And that draft pick actually came from Tampa Bay, Cincinnati. That's pretty interesting. So Irvin Fryer made it to NFL Hall of Fame, number one overall. New England Patriots. Houston Oilers, Dean Steinkuhler, tackle Nebraska. New York Giants, Carl Banks, NFL Hall of Famer. Linebacker, Michigan State. Philadelphia Eagles, Kenny Jackson, wide receiver, Penn State. Must have been a big draft year for wide receivers. I guess when they had all those quarterbacks the year before, they realized they needed to have wide receivers for them, whether they're not with the same teams. Kansas City Chiefs, Bill Moss, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh. San Diego Chargers, Mossy Cade, defense DB, Texas. Never heard of some of these people. We're only up to number 7. Cincinnati Bengals, Ricky Hunley, linebacker, Arizona. Indianapolis Colts. See, we see that they moved from Baltimore. So that was done between 83 and 84. And I guess that's maybe why John Elway didn't want to go to the Colts. Not sure if he knew about it. Leonard Coleman, defensive back, Vanderbilt. Atlanta Falcons, Rick Bryan, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. New York Jets, Russell Carter, defensive back, Southern Methodist. Chicago Bears, Wilbur Marshall, linebacker, Florida. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. If not, he definitely should be. So we see the Bears are stocking up on their defense, which the very next year would be incredibly famous. Green Bay Packers, Alfonso Caracker, defensive end, Florida State. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing your last name. Minnesota Vikings at number 13, Keith Millard, defensive end, Washington State. Miami Dolphins, Jackie Shipp, linebacker, Oklahoma. New York Jets, Ron Farott, defensive end, Arkansas. Cincinnati Bengals, Pete Koch, defensive end, Maryland. St. Louis Cardinals, okay, so now they're in St. Louis. Clyde Duncan, wide receiver. Cleveland Browns. Now, this is the old Cleveland Browns, right? Before they became the Baltimore Ravens. So I still believe this is the original Browns team. Don Rogers, defensive back, UCLA. You guys are not very good at drafting, at least in the first round. And same with you, Detroit. Back to the Colts. Indianapolis Colts had 19. Ron Solt, guard, Maryland. Detroit Lions, David Lewis, tight end, California. Kansas City Chiefs, John Alt, tackle, Iowa. I believe I heard his name before. Seattle Seahawks, Terry Taylor, defensive back, Southern Illinois. Pittsburgh Steelers, Lewis Lips, wide receiver, Southern Mississippi. San Francisco 49ers. Now, remember, the Steelers the year before drafted a quarterback, so now they're drafting a wide receiver. San Francisco 49ers, Todd Shell, linebacker, Brigham Young. At 25, Dallas Cowboys, Billy Cannon, linebacker, Texas A&M. Buffalo Bills, Greg Bell, running back from Notre Dame. 27, New York Giants, Bill Roberts, tackle, Ohio State. 28, Cincinnati Bengals, Brian Blados, tackle, North Carolina. I think I've heard of him. Is he in the Hall of Fame? I'm not sure. Houston Oilers, Doug Smith, defensive end, Auburn. Tampa Bay, number 30, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Keith Browner, linebacker, Southern California. Seems like they traded a higher pick because Irvin Fryer was supposed to be, could have been their pick. All right, Washington, now called the Commanders. Bob Slater, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Number 32, Atlanta Falcons, Stott Case, defensive back, Oklahoma. Wow. We see that this 84 draft, as far as I could tell, has 1, 2. I don't know if Wilbur Marshall's in the Hall of Fame or not, but if he isn't, he should be. So at least 2 Hall of Famers that I know of, and potentially a third in the first round. So we're seeing an average of 2 to 3. Well, I guess it's not average, about 2.5 Hall of Famers last 4 drafts. in the first round. So it is not easy. First of all, it's not easy to get in the Hall of Fame, and it's not easy to draft well. Bye.